What is up, BookTube? It's Monty, and today I'm back with a Friday Reads because obviously it is Friday. Or rather, you're watching this on Friday. I think at this point we all know that I film these things on a Thursday. Earlier today I tweeted that this book right here, The Poppy War by R.F. Kuang, was putting me through it. And I've read the first part of this book. I've actually read like half of it. I'm on page 298. I'm almost 300 pages into this. There's only, I want to say that it's just under 600 pages. And it's not that I hate this book, but this book and I do not get along. I feel like I've said this before, but I don't like accelerated timelines in novels. I don't like when I'm reading a page and on that page we've traveled 4 months into the future. Several times over the course of the book that's happened, at least in the first part. The first part is like 3 years of Rin's life, and I just never felt connected to her. This is also the latest in a long series of books this year that I've read where there is a magic system related to the gods. And I feel like that's just the new magic system trend, and I'm kind of really over it. It's not that I think The Poppy War does it better or worse than any of those other novels, or that it doesn't feel unique. It's just that I don't think that's a system of magic that I'm particularly drawn to. There's just so much going on in this, and it's not even like... And there have been novels this year that I've read where a lot of things were happening, but I was interested in them. But this one, it's like everything is boring. I have like I've learned this about myself this year, but I don't like reading about characters whose eating is in any way disordered. Like it sticks out to me. And I don't appreciate reading about it. I don't know if I would call it a trigger, but like it makes me very uncomfortable, and I don't appreciate it. And so when I'm reading about these characters who are like when Ren was in the cave, or when Tyr was like all of the things that he was doing when we met him at the beginning of part 2, it just made me very uncomfortable, and it made me not want to pick it up. And this book has made me not want to pick up anything, if I'm being honest. Little Women, I'm supposed to be better reading with Erica from The Broken Spine. I'll leave their channel linked down below. And I haven't picked this up since like the first week. I'm on page 92, and I'm pretty sure I'm meant to be on page like 300 or something by now. Today is the 20th, so I should have read 2 chapters a day. I should almost be done with this, honestly. And I'm not. I'm not anywhere near done with it. So this is what I've read, and this is what I have to read. And I don't like how episodic it is. I don't care about any of the characters. I don't know why I thought this was a good idea. Then the last thing that I picked up today after I set down the Poppy War and after I tweeted that out, because I kind of wanted to jump back into this world, and so I picked up Lord of Shadows by Cassandra Clare, the second book in the Dark Artifices. And there are things that I could say. I appreciate the cameos that we're getting. I think that the cameos should take the character with them. I don't like the character whose lineage was revealed at the end of Lady Midnight. I don't like him being at the LA Institute. I feel like they should go to the New York Institute. So yeah, I probably won't finish this weekend. I probably won't even pick it up again, but I did. This was the thing that I got the furthest in of all the other things after I dropped the Poppy War. So those are the things that I've been reading recently. That's a lie. 1 second. Okay, so there's one other thing that I read a little bit of today. And this morning when I woke up, I was watching Heather Aphrodite Reads videos. I watch all of her videos, so I'll leave her channel link down below as well. But she was talking about Lovely War by Julie Berry. Yes, Julie Berry. And I've seen this in my library literally every time I've gone to like return a book, grab some books. And I knew that Heather read this, and I knew that Heather liked it, and I knew that it was an Aphrodite-inspired situation. And there was, you know, love involved, obviously. But I picked it up, and I think that it had a really strong opening. I got through the first section of the book, and I'm just about to where we're getting to the actual, like, World War I love story dynamic between the characters that, you know, the story of Aphrodite is going to tell. I think that it had a really strong setup. I thought it was really interesting. I really appreciated the writing of that first section of the book. I don't know if I'm going to pick this up. This was the first thing that I read today. This is what I got the furthest in before I tried reading some other things, just to see if I was in a no reading thing. So I might get to this. I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing this weekend. So I guess I want to finish this Friday Reads with a discussion of what I finished this week. And I have 2 review videos already up of Lady Midnight, and I have Children of Virtue and Vengeance. But the other thing that I finished recently was Alexa Dunn's Brightly Burning. This was the 100th book that I read this year, and it was not at all what I wanted it to be. It started, I think the first half of that book is actually really well done. It wasn't until the second half of the book that I started to have some issues with the narrative. It's a Jane Eyre in space retelling. I've never read Jane Eyre. But essentially we have our main character Stella, who was an engineer aboard a failing ship. It's set in the future. All of not all of humanity, but large portions of humanity are now orbiting the Earth. I don't know why we're orbiting the Earth. I don't know why I don't have a moon colony or a Mars colony, but we're orbiting the Earth, and Stella's on a ship that is bound to be re-entered. That ship is not going to be in space for very much longer, and she doesn't want to go back down to Earth because they don't know if Earth is habitable, because they left it because of a supervolcano. And so there was an ice age situation that happened. I think there's a lot of things in this book that just don't make sense in terms of the world building. Okay, so there was an ice age, there was this supermassive volcano, but all of these countries, because large portions of the world are represented aboard these ships that have been in orbit for thousands of years, but we're just orbiting for thousands of years, and there's no moon colony or Mars colony. We're just orbiting. I don't know how we're getting supplies. I don't know. There's farm ships. There's attempts at world building, but because it's not meant to be a hard sci-fi, the focus very much is the romance. There's things that don't really make sense in terms of the world, and so it kind of pulled me out of it. I did appreciate the romance some of the time, but Hugo, our love interest in the novel, is 19, which I understand is younger than the love interest in the actual novel Jane Eyre, but Stella is still 17, and that's just not it made me a little bit uncomfortable just for that. The age gap was a little bit uncomfortable, but also it just, again, it did the thing where there was time skipping, and I never really felt that we saw Hugo and Stella bonding. There were moments, but they were always interrupted by something, and so it's I don't really see this happening the way you want me to see this happening. But their dynamic and when she was aboard his ship were by far and away the most compelling. She was brought there to teach his little sister how to do things, I guess. I don't know. My issue is really there's an element that's introduced about the halfway point that it has to be for the retelling aspect, a change to make you want to read this. And it fits in with the sci-fi setting, kind of. But it feels like it comes out of left field, and then suddenly Stella is typical sci-fi heroine out here running and doing things that just don't really make sense for her to be doing. I never believed that Stella would be this person that would be doing these things. There were just some weird, reminiscent of colonial choices made at the end of that book that I just did not fuck with. And so I think I gave it 1 star. I might have given it 2 stars. I rambled for long enough. This video is almost 20 minutes long before I edit it. So I'm going to go here. Poppy War, Little Women, Lord of Shadows, Lovely War, the 4 books that I might get to this weekend. And then Brightly Burning was one I finished this week that I was not fully in love with. Let me know down in the comment section what you plan to read this weekend, what you've been reading this past week. If you liked what you saw here, you can click subscribe, you can click the like button, you can dislike it, whatever your heart contends. You can do all, well, I guess you can't do all 3. You have to like or dislike. You can't do both. But yeah, I'll see you guys in my next video whenever that happens to be. But until then, bye.